Yo, what is happening, everyone? Welcome to episode number 18 of the Lifting Ugly podcast. It is a podcast so cool that even Billy Madison is peeing his pants. That's how cool this podcast is. It's so cool. We have 0 people listening and watching right now.
I know, right? Seth, where are you? Number one fan. You're not even here.
Seth and Ethan are my 2 people that voted for Saturdays. I expect them to be joining us shortly.
They better be.
Because we had 1 person voted for Friday. So those are our 3 votes.
How do we only have 3 votes for the people that follow us? God damn, we're the laziest followers.
That's part of the problem. I think the other thing is I did say on there, if you don't care, then don't worry about voting. So maybe the rest of them, they just don't care when we go live because they'll just catch up on it later.
They'll enjoy it on Spotify or YouTube or Apple Music.
Right. Apple Music's been taken off. So again, we've gotten things kind of jumping again here since earlier today. So anyone that jumps on that listens to this podcast that has not listened before, welcome. And if you are new, we have 2 new subscribers as of today. So
nice.
welcome to you all as you get on there. Feel free to leave comments. I'll go through and read them and respond to them either in the comment section or here, depending on what kind of attention your comment needs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that type of thing.
Yeah,
I do have. All right, so how's everything going in your neck of the beach?
Not too bad. Just working, training, and coaching. Nothing new. Same shit, different toilet.
Same rasp. Is it a different toilet or is it just the same toilet still? Did you get a new toilet?
It's the same toilet, but I've been detailing it every once in a while.
Oh, okay. Well, that's probably wise.
Yeah, and I mean, I like to think my voice is slowly coming back, so which is kind of nice.
I'm glad you think that. That's good to keep a positive attitude. So I'll just be stuck like this forever. Who knows? Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. It'll just be the new you.
I hate it, but
so we had a fun little deadlift session with Nicole on Monday.
Yeah.
So which prompted some of my posts about some PP on the platform.
Oh, the Labrador. Yeah, I saw that.
And then did you see the Beetlejuice one?
Yeah, I did. I hate Beetlejuice. I can't even tell you how much. Oh my god! Like I was never really afraid of a lot of things when I was a kid, but that movie, I don't know what it was, but it like hated it. Nightmares. Couldn't stand it.
So she had her little deadlift, her one pull, and it was a pretty substantial amount that was released.
So it wasn't just like a little piddle. It was like
it was a full stream.
Nice live stream
through the shorts and everything. Yeah, live streaming for sure. And Jordan was our favorite ghost client. Jordan was there.
Nice. He's a strong man now.
He is a strong man. He is a strong little man. He his comment afterwards was, "Wow, looks like you need to drink some more water. You're dehydrated." So according to Jordan, her pee was too yellow on the platform.
Oh,
she needs.
He's a doctor now too.
Dr. Jordan, Dr. Ghost Jordan.
Dr. Ghost Jordan.
Oh, what a goofy kid. So anyway, that prompted a lot of thoughts about accidents on the platform.
It does, like I still have yet to like. I feel like it's not too common for guys.
No, and we did talk about that a few different times. So I think a lot of that has to do with basically the guy's body is designed to shut that side of the urethra off.
Oh yeah, totally.
So I don't know if that happens when you're pulling or if it's the fact that the length of the urethra in comparison. Or what the deal is. But anyway, it is definitely a more of a female problem.
Yeah.
I
especially if you have kids. Because Maria has the same problem.
Yep. It is mostly they have the weakened bladder sling, and which causes that's Dr. Us telling everyone the physiology of what makes things happen, science. What makes accidents happen. Science, yo.
Yeah.
And then we all have we've all been victims of the open taint on a squat.
Like exposed from shorts blowing out, or
just things sliding out.
Oh, like
whether it just be air, whether it just be air or whatnot that may come from such
what have you,
or what have you from opening that wide open. So anyway, that was a fun little Monday deadlift session. That was
nice. That's dope.
So I got her spray and a couple rags. I said, "Here you go. Clean that up for me, please."
Clean that up for me, please, because I'm not touching it.
I don't mind seeing it's kind of fun. A lot of effort, but
I ain't touched it though.
Yeah, I'll do a lot of things for my clients, but cleaning that up.
That's fair. That's very fair.
So how's training?
Good, man. Like super good. No complaints whatsoever.
Everything's increasing.
Everything's
feeling better.
Oh yeah. I'll have a little bit of like biceps tendon pain in my shoulders after benching, but that's kind of just the new norm nowadays. Squats are going phenomenal. Can't complain whatsoever. Deads are moving. The speed's slowly coming back, and they're pain free, which is probably the most exciting part. So
right.
I'm hoping by the end of April, the goal is to hit 500 for a double on bench, hit 650 for a single or double on the SSB. And honestly, if I just get back to 6 on deads, I'd be stoked about it. So I feel like that'll kind of set the pace for a good off-season rolling into an in-season. Nice. The goal is to compete in October. So,
okay, cool.
Yeah.
You have one in October you're looking at, or you just
so the WRPF is hosting one at you're gonna love this, at a gym called Grinder.
Well, good news is that they probably won't have trouble finding people to spot.
No, it'll be dudes everywhere, but it's actually it's a pretty sick gym though, minus the name. It's a little bit of powerlifting, but it's mainly strongman, and the owner and his son do professional arm wrestling. So there's like, yeah. So the outside would be like Jack's Playground. They have everything. They have like the mock with death. They have stones. They have 1,000-pound yoke. They got like 800-pound tires. Like they literally have everything. It's the coolest. It's the only downside, I think, in my opinion, is everything's outside. So
right.
If it's cold, you're dealing with it. If it's hot, you're dealing with it. And I think all the warm-up area is going to be outside as well. So I'm hoping the conditions in October aren't going to be too gnarly.
So is this the what is that one called? Is this like their main event that they're doing
for the WRPF
in October? Yeah.
I don't know if it's a main one. I don't know if it's a qualifier or anything. It's just kind of a meet.
Oh, okay. I just wasn't sure because the main dude is out there by where you're at.
Well, so my buddy Ryan was the chair. He's not doing it anymore. So I don't know who the new guy is. So I'm kind of hoping this one will be at least a qualifier for some. I'll look into it after. It'd be nice to get like nationals or something.
I believe most of their amateur events right now are qualifiers.
That'd be dope because judging how everything's going in the off season right now, I have a real good chance of either hitting 2,000 or just underneath it.
Right, and I don't know what their numbers. I think that's what Selena had talked about when we had her on. Was their numbers kind of vary from season to season, and what the qualifying numbers per weight class are going to be. But
I wonder if it's going to be like off the dot score, if it's going to be a total. So hopefully,
I think they do it off a total per weight class.
Yeah,
that qualifies you. So, and if you're in the 305s, or if you're in the 308s, or if you're super heavies, then you have a qualifying total that would get you into be able to do the national events.
Because I know by October I should be down to 295 300 pounds. So that'll hopefully change things.
It'll be skin and bones by then.
I know, right? Shit. I'm going to wither away.
Jeez.
Cutting down to 300 pounds. Jesus.
Yeah, we have... so depending on how the one in North Dakota goes, the USPA event out there, and how the girls feel after that, they do have... The WRPF did announce one in August, which is a little bit of a quick turnaround, but I figured a week or two off, and then that gives a 6 or 7 week kind of reset into it, which is not ideal, but I was like, if you guys want platform time, it's a good way to get platform time.
Yeah, true.
And it's probably, I'm guessing for them, it's going to be enough time in between that they should be able to, they may not be able to make much as far as increases go, but we can make adjustments. And so if there's anything that needs to be fixed, we can fix in that time period.
I mean, they're still new, so they're not going to have all the dings and damages on the spine. So they should be just fine. I mean, just the general fatigue and tired and muscle soreness.
Yep.
It should be all right.
That should all pass.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and then, so speaking of deadlifts came up. So my deadlift video that I posted, I shared it to my personal one as well. And I got like the dumbest comment.
Really?
One of the dumbest comments I've ever got. And it just really bothered me just because of how to. So anyway, so it's, 585 for 5, the top of the 5th one. I dropped the bar because I'm done. I'm exhausted. Yeah. It's like, hell yeah, I got it done. And you just drop it, right?
Yeah.
It's a 5th rep. So this, let me see if I can. The guy says, and I don't know if his wording was not what he was wanting it to be or what.
Yeah.
But dude says, I was good with you until you dropped it on the last and most important rep.
So you've been trolled now.
I'm like, what? I'm like, so you're good with me. You were good with me up until that, and now all of a sudden, like, I'm some shithead human being.
Oh, because you're now.
So I just simply replied, I was like, well, the good thing I don't live or die by what your thoughts of me are. So.
Yeah, good thing I don't give a fuck about who you are.
Right. It's a bothersome thing. It's like, why would you even say anything like that? One, you don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, it's not even regardless of the comment. It's the fact that someone went out of their way to talk shit about about your deadlift.
Right. I'm like, it's a decent deadlift. It's nothing like definitely there's way better ones.
I mean, is it a person that can do 585 for 5, or is it just someone that's talking shit?
No, some bodybuilder out of Denver that that who knows, it's like, yeah, if I'm doing 10 reps for bodybuilding purposes, then yes, control every single one of them. But I'm also doing a much lighter weight.
Yeah.
But like if you're doing like a heavy top set and you want a celebratory dropping of the weight, then go for it. I mean,
I mean, it's your platform. It's your gym. Like,
right.
Whoever the fuck you want. Throw the wall after if you want. Who cares?
I'm like, the nerve of somebody to think that my whole set is diminished because I dropped it on the 5th one. Just
because we need to do everything by judging standards 24/7. Like, what a butt
definitely.
Plug.
Yeah, I was not doing a 1 rep max where I wanted it to count for a meet. Just, there's our siren, our San Diego siren.
Oh, someone's dying. Love it.
It's probably not COVID anymore, though.
No, it's not. Not COVID or racist. So who knows?
It must be out there. It's probably cocaine overdose.
Oh, fentanyl. Love it.
All right. Well, I guess we should get into kind of the introductions and everything. So, like it says on the screen, if you're watching, it says on the screen. My name is Craig Bird. I am coming to you from Monument Fitness in Grand Junction, Colorado. That is the western slope of Colorado. And with me, as always, on my side here is none other than
baby.
You want to tell him your name or not?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. My name's Al Guy.
You're just bobbing your head, just completely oblivious to the world around you. Yeah. So welcome everyone. Anyone who's on right now, again, welcome. Anyone who listens later, we appreciate you guys being here. If you're ever in the Grand Junction area, Western Colorado area, make sure you get a hold of me. You can get a hold of me and the show and the website, anything by searching Lifting Ugly at lifting_ugly on Instagram. Get a hold of us there. Send me a message. I would love to have you check out our gym here at Monument Fitness. And you can go to monumentfitness.com or at monument.fitness on Instagram.
It's a killer gym, people.
It's splendid here.
I love it.
You'll hear me bitch about it, but that's just because it's as the person who has to clean and manage and stuff like that. So that's where my bitching comes from, not from the gym.
I don't miss that. Cleaning up the muddy tracks every Sunday from the same two fucking people that can't get it into their head that we don't want mud in the gym.
So I did cancel a membership this week because...
Oh, no way.
Yeah, slightly because of that. I mean, so I had a green neon sign where I had, please check your shoes. Nice. I wasn't even being a dickhead about it. Just check your shoes. If you have muddy shoes, if you have dirty shoes, take them off.
Yep.
Kept having tracks. So I was like, well, maybe the black ink and the green sign just kind of blends in. So I put it on a white paper. People seem to notice it more. I left here at like 7:00 one night, came in, was here at 4:30, and there's just mud tracks all through the main room. I look in the second room and I'm like, okay, well, maybe they realized they were leaving tracks and they took their shoes off. And I'm kind of saying this out loud. And a guy comes walking through the back and he's like, nope, it's all in the back. I mean, the back was a disaster. It's just mud tracks everywhere. Like not
how do
just
you
like
live with that?
I don't know. And they're not even tracks. It's like chunks of mud left behind.
Oh my God. Like, how do you see that walking through and you're like, oh, wait, maybe I should grab a broom or change my fucking shoes?
Yeah. So anyway, so I looked, there was only like 3 people that had checked in between the time I left and the time I got there. So it was easy to kind of go back on the cameras, see who it was, saw who it was that checked in. They like wiped their feet, tried to wipe their feet, and there's big, mud shoe prints on the carpet. So I'm like, okay, well, that's the guy. Other problem, somebody came in with him.
Oh.
So my first text to him was like, hey, who was it that came with you to the gym yesterday? And I haven't even gotten to the mud part because he never responded.
Oh, so it was someone that wasn't a member.
Right. So I gave him 24 hours to respond to try and tell me that part. And then I can notify him about the mud. Hey, if you do this again with the mud, you don't check your shoes, you don't take that shit off, I'm going to charge your account because I'm not spending hours every day cleaning this shit up. I didn't get that far. He didn't respond about that. So I'm like, well, if you're stealing service from me, then guess what? I don't need that anyway. So that's like two strikes and one entrance into the gym. So I felt a little bit, kind of a satisfaction.
Did you get power hungry, Craig? Do you feel what it's like to be a leader now, or a fearless dictatorship leader?
Yeah, now I'm like everyone. Like I have my trigger finger on the mouse, ready for anyone that crosses me. It's like,
cancel. Cancel.
So that part sucks, and deal with that, and I have to do extra cleaning on that, because it was snowy and wet and stuff like that here this week, and so some of it is bound to happen, but but
be conscious about it. Like, you're gonna drag that shit everywhere.
Well, and if you're in shoes and you are walking through muddy areas, you probably don't want to wear those shoes inside of anywhere.
Or like wear them to the door, take them off, put on a different pair of shoes, and then put on those shoes when you get back to your car.
Yeah, if you want muddy shoes in your car, then do it that way.
It's not rocket surgery.
It is not rocket surgery, because rocket surgery is much more difficult to understand.
It'd be so hard.
Shout out to all those rocket surgeons out there.
Yeah, brain scientists.
Brain science. It's all about that brain science. All right, as we go into today's episode, we would like to have everyone go visit Pioneer Lifting Belts at generalleathercraft.com. Pioneer Lifting Belts are the benchmark, the gold standard, the what else? What other kind of descriptive words can we use?
It's absolute baseline. It's gold standard. It is the best fucking lifting belt you could buy, in my opinion.
The bee's knees, even.
The bee's knees. The cat's pajamas.
Yeah. Cat's pajamas.
And you can customize it however you want.
Right.
Oh, Ethan, cream of the crop right there. Perfect. Nice chime in, dog.
Cream of the crop. That is a good description for him as well. So anyone listening that doesn't know about Pioneer Lifting Belts, make sure you go visit them at generalleathercraft.com. You can get them customized any way that you want. They will put anything on there that you want. They make those belts. Let's see, what have I seen? Like a snake scale pattern, sparkly.
Well, they got snake skin, they got leather, they got suede, they got like the printing design if you want to throw like a picture on there. Like,
right.
You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, these guys have got it. These guys have got it to be able to do it for you. Super cool to work with.
Service. Oh, amazing.
Yep. Easy to work with. So make sure you visit generalleathercraft.com, not just for lifting belts, lifting straps, knee wraps, wrist wraps, soon to be knee sleeves, elbow sleeves. They have golf club covers. They have dog collars, wallets. Like it says, they're General Leathercraft. So for all your General Leathercraft needs, generalleathercraft.com.
Shout out to Matt's grandpa.
Yep, for getting down doing those business to business walk-in sales of belts back in the day.
Oh yeah,
back when I was a lad, when I was just a young baby, he was starting
a young sprite.
All right. So again, you can visit me and the show at lifting_ugly or search Lifting Ugly pretty much anywhere. And I try to have a page of some kind anywhere you could possibly be. Alkai here. You can get a hold of him. If you are not already connected to his cyber terrorist network, you can get a hold of him on his non-terrorist network at Pico_powerlifting, which is belly button powerlifting. Is that correct? Translation?
Yeah, in the Hawaiian culture, the belly button is the most important part of your body. So
it is where all the nutrients are received. Mm-hmm. It is a very important part.
And it's also very important for lifting. Right. Gotta keep that tummy tight.
And so go to Pico Powerlifting and you can see videos of Alkai here's belly button as he benches pretty regularly.
Yep. Belly's
and
out,
if you are a part of his cyber terrorist network, then you can see all that on his Bellies Out benching.
Might be my favorite name right now.
I do like the Bellies Out benching.
Yeah.
That is one of the best. The Pico, the belly button one is pretty good. I like to just think belly button powerlifting. I think belly button powerlifting is a great name as well.
It is. I think the next belt I'm going to buy is going to have something along the lines of that on it.
If you did a bellies out benching or just bellies out.
Yeah.
I think that would be.
Sounds good.
That would be the bee's knees.
Next paycheck, bee's knees. Next paycheck.
All right. Also for any graphic needs, computer graphics, art, anything like that, go ahead and visit our man Zontopia.com at Zontopia to visit all of his various things he does. If you would like to be a monthly subscriber and donate to our cause here at Lifting Ugly, you can do so at patreon.com/Lifting Ugly. We do have different tiers and levels for you to join, depending on your dedication to us and our, can I call it a craft? Is this a craft? Maybe?
Yeah. Our podcast craft.
It's craft like macaroni and cheese is craft.
Oh, yeah.
So if you'd like, you can do so. Monthly subscriptions at patreon.com. Also, you can make one-time donations as well as visit our store at liftingugly.com. As I did post in the stories yesterday, I have two shirts. One has been put out there before. That's not going to be a surprise. The other one is a little bit different. So I got to preface all this. And so I have some questions first for you.
Okay.
Can you name me 3 Mr. Olympia winners?
Jay Cutler, Dorian Yates, and Ronnie Coleman.
Okay. It's pretty easy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so my next question. Can you name me 1 all-natural Mr. Olympia winner?
No.
Question 2 or 3. 2, according on that line of questioning. Did you know that there is an all-natural Mr. Olympia competition?
That's like watching the USAPL. Who cares?
Right. So, point being, whether or not you are natural or not, nobody cares. People want to see. So, okay. So, since a lot of what we deal with goes into the powerlifting world,
yeah.
Who holds the world record for tested bench?
My God. Single ply is Blaine Sumner. God, what is his name? Not Ashton. There's one guy who sits at like the 180s who has a 550 bench right now, which is absolutely batshit insane.
And he's an all-natural tested competitor?
Yeah.
Okay. So then much easier.
And then squats, you got Ray Williams.
Much easier question for you. Who holds the bench record for classic or for raw?
Oh my God. Right now you got John Hack, who's at 200 pounds. He just benched 6.
What about Julius?
Oh my God, yeah. I mean Julius Maddox, yeah, absolutely. I was thinking like pound for pound, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so you got John Hack, who's 200 pounds, benching 6. And then you got Julius, who's an absolute fucking monster, who's gonna bench 8. And there's a guy in he's either Armenian or Pakistani, but I think he's gonna bench 8 before Julius does. His name is Daniel Zamani, and he just benched 793, and it was a smoke show.
Damn.
Yeah, the dude looks like a caveman, but he blew 793 off his chest. It was crazy.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Point being, everyone wants to see freak shit happen.
Yeah.
Freak weights, freak physiques. That's what
the
people.
Super monsters. Yeah. Was that the mass monsters?
Yeah, that's what people want. So you can do that and be natural. That's fine. But if you're competing in the open, you're doing that much better. Second part of that, nobody cares and nobody wants to hear about it.
No.
Which brings us to what is going to be the official launch of the All Natty Light.
I can't wait to buy that shirt.
And then on the back, it does have the Lifting Ugly logo. Stack the one like on the hat. So All Natty Light for those of us and those of you, one who even if you are a natty competitor and you're tired of hearing everyone just tout that as like makes them a big shot, you can do the All Natty Light. For some of us, we're all natty, kind of.
I mean, or from a satirical standpoint, and you're not natty ever, and you want to wear it to get a ha-ha out of your friends because they know you're not natty.
Yeah, and the other would be like I'm 20% natty.
Yep.
There's things I do. Natty. There's things I do that are all natural that I would put into that category. So I am all natty light. So if you'd like your all natty light t-shirt, you can go to liftingugly.com and you can check it out there. They do sizes from extra small, which I don't think I've sold one extra small shirt yet, all the way up to 5X.
Holy Moses.
Which is awesome.
That's badass.
The next one. I was talking to Keenan earlier this week.
Okay.
So this is kind of along the same line. Talking to Keenan earlier this week, he was telling me about a shirt, his favorite shirt when he was in high school that he wore everywhere, and he didn't even realize
Diana Ball.
Yeah. So I took that. He's like, if you did a shirt like that, it'd be awesome. I did change it slightly because the one he had said "Die big, die young," Diana Ball.
Diana Ball. Yeah.
And I didn't really want to like put "die young" on there because it's kind of a little fucked up.
Yeah.
So for anyone that wants this is on our Monumental Powerlifting logo on the front. And so, but don't let that scare you away. We're more than happy to have you represent Monumental Powerlifting. I mean,
it's a sweet logo.
All are welcome. I mean, if you want to represent Monumental Powerlifting, it is a pretty sweet logo. I don't have that logo loaded up, but you can go to the website and you can check out the Monumental Powerlifting gear, which under that tab, you will find the new Die Big, Die Strong Diana Ball.
I'm gonna buy that too. That's so sick. That's so tight.
And I can give a brief description of kind of what our Monumental Powerlifting. Actually, hold on. I have my sweatshirt here. I can knock over some stuff while I show everyone the black and white logo.
There she is, the OG.
The Monumental Powerlifting. There we go.
I love that.
So that's on the front, but in the color version. And then Die Big, Die Strong Diana Ball.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
Inspired by the most cuddly of people, Keenan. A very cuddly human being he is.
Yep.
All right. So make sure you guys go to liftingugly.com. You can check that out. Hats, we have all kinds of other shirts on there, shorts, and other stuff. There, you can get a flag for your gym, Lifting Ugly flag. Cool shit. So make sure you just go check it out there.
Oh yeah.
You can also do the one-time donations to help us support us on the podcast. You can also get online coaching if that's something that you're looking at and want to kind of have interest in. If you have questions about it, you can hit up either one of us. We'd be more than happy to answer your questions. But those can be purchased through the website as well for the different thingamajiggies there. Mm-hmm. Also, that brings us to this week's Face of the Week winner.
Ooh.
I did not post the contest up.
I was gonna say I didn't see anything, so I'm excited to see what we got.
The problem being, as you stated earlier, we have lazy followers.
We do.
And so I think what happens is they just expect that everyone else is going to step in and fill the role. And so it kind of goes by the wayside.
It's not hard. Just screenshot your video and send it on Instagram.
I know. So even if you've submitted before, feel free to submit again. But we did have the one submission. And so that submission obviously wins. And that would be Lisa Marie. There's her face.
Nice.
Deadlift pole.
Nice.
So
and like that's like a happy one.
Yeah, it's kind of a smile / strain. The guy spotting her in the back I don't know if he's looking at her ass or is just none concerned with spotting her.
The dude to like her 7 o'clock almost has like a concerned face on him.
The little boy?
No, the guy next to him.
Oh, yeah. It's kind of an odd-looking fellow back there in the corner.
He is an odd-looking fellow.
So if anyone wants to check out anything else that she has, you can check out Lisa at Trainer Lisa Marie on Instagram. Hey, tell them to quit whispering. We got a show going on here.
Yeah.
Now with those shenanigans over there.
Yeah, cut that shit out.
We got work to do here. You think this is all fun and games? This is serious business.
Kind of.
So again, anyone who listens, new listeners, old listeners, make sure you send in screenshots of your lifting face, the best lifting face that you can find. Send it to @lifting_ugly. And that way we can have more competitive contests in the future as we've had in the past, and we all enjoy it. It's fun to look at. It's fun to kind of compare how we do those.
You don't have to be it doesn't have to be a new one, an old one from a while ago. It can be
right. Scroll through your oldies. And let us know what you got. Plus, most likely, we won't even know if it's old or not.
No.
Because we probably don't really know you that well to know you better.
Not at all.
And then to be honest, even if we did know you, we don't care. Just send us cool shit.
Yeah.
Cool shit. That's what we want to see. So it's just
get a shirt out of it.
Just grind. That's right. Grind it out. Just gnarly. We want that.
Yeah. Extra points for P.
Extra points for tinkling on the mat.
Yep.
Women get a little bonus.
Yep.
For not being self-conscious and being willing to show themselves in maybe not the most attractive of situations. That is much appreciated, and we do enjoy seeing it. And to some of us, it is not an unattractive situation. So that one, the one WRPF official in Denver, Jesse, I think he won Face of the Week a couple weeks ago. He did comment. He commented on the one post I had about peeing on the platform. Yeah, and his comment was, "It was kind of hot."
Yeah, I mean, I agree, Jesse. Very much so.
He's not lying. There's something about it that is. I think it's the effort that gets put in that makes it.
It's the fact that you know what's going to happen, you don't care, and you're just going to push through it anyway.
You just let it go, because pulling the rep is more important than controlling your bladder.
Yeah, no, let it fly.
Yeah.
So what's the male equivalent then? Like popping a blood vessel in the eye, or?
I'm trying to think what would be. Yeah, but that's just gross. Like, regardless,
it's poo-poo.
So, like, I mean, that's a lot of strain, but that's almost like, all right, you just lost points there with that one.
Yeah,
I mean, in guys and girls, I mean, they'll blow some air out on a nice open squat.
What if they pass out or something?
Yeah, I mean.
Not that we want you guys to promote fucking passing
out.
Yeah,
we don't. Yeah,
that's right. If it happens, shoot it our way.
I think some of the best faces, and I mean, this is men and women. I don't know that there is a male equivalent, just because we're not as cool as women are. We just don't have those bonus points available to us. No. But I think the best faces come when you black out while you're lifting.
Ooh,
those things where. Yeah, when everything goes off, but the weight's still moving, and you're like, "I'm fucking going," and you just keep pushing through. I think that's where the best faces come from. Right, and then you watch the video, and you're like, "Oh, that moved pretty good." And you're like, "Holy shit, where did that face come from?"
Yeah. Also, who did that pull? Because I don't remember it.
Yeah, like I checked out a few minutes ago. I don't know what happened over there. Or you'd be like, "Alkai here was you burst a blood vessel in your throat."
That 600 double that I did.
Yeah, a few times.
I popped all the capillaries in my throat and my lungs, and then got a nice little pop blood vessel in my eyeball.
That was the one that was like the actual bleeder, wasn't it? The one in your eye.
Oh yeah, and then that was the same time I split my lip too and started bleeding out of my mouth. Yeah.
And so what Alkai learned what he learned that day was that he needed to get a mouth guard.
And bracing properly and not being so fat and
it's a couple things.
Trend so you can't breathe anymore.
just level it off right before you get to that point.
Yeah.
And all is well at that point. Have you had much issues with blood vessels bursting since you've had the mouth guard?
No, bracing is 100% on point. Even at the meet, I didn't have any in my eyeballs. I had no issues with my lungs, like nothing. I was actually kind of disappointed. I was hoping I was going to walk away with like a nice boo-boo kitty in my eyeball.
Just all sorts of war wounds.
Yeah, it's nice to walk away from the meet to have that, you know.
Yeah, you came out clean.
I did. So I'm hoping in October I'll have some nice ones.
Some stories to tell.
Oh yeah, many stories.
You got to have those good stories to tell after those. Otherwise, did it really even happen? What proof do you have?
Instagram.
Oh yeah,
that's it.
It was posted online. It happened.
Yeah,
you can't fake that shit.
No.
I think you knocked your microphone. You got a little quiet.
Oh. Hello.
In your pounding of the table.
Sorry, I got so excited.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess we should at least dabble in the topic of the week.
Let me open.
So this one, this is one that was commented. Seth, who usually joins us live, and voted that we do Saturday so that he could listen and watch live, and yet he's not here. So, But still, he commented this topic a few episodes ago, and I kind of missed it. So, but that's okay. It gives us something to work with today.
Yep.
Which would be the difference between different season or on-off season peaking. Which at first I was like, man, how do you even approach that subject? Like, what is the difference? But then I was able to figure some things out as I thought about it more. So it helped me to kind of develop kind of a path for off-season type of work. So in your eyes, what do you see? What are the big differences between an off-season peak? Well, okay, I guess to first explain to anyone who may not be a competitor of any kind, because there's in bodybuilding as well, there's peaking, strongman, there's peaking, powerlifting, there's peaking. So any strength sport, you have a peaking period that you go through. So that's what we're talking about when we're talking about peaking. So when it comes to on-season peaking, or let's say, what would you say is the biggest difference between off-season peaking and on-season peaking?
I'd say off-season in general. Before you even get to the peak, it's a nice accumulation period. So that's when you're getting your volume done, you're getting your hypertrophy work done, so the muscle building. It's a good chance, for me at least, it's a good chance to use specialty bars. So like for squats, you got the SSB, you got the camber bar, you got a buffalo bar. For deadlifts, you can use a stiff bar. If you don't generally pull with one, if you're benching, you use the buffalo bar, bamboo bar, tsunami bar, blah, blah, blah. Basically, it's a time for you to capitalize on weaknesses that need to be addressed before you go in the in-season. So a nice volume block of that's when you're getting your, 5 sets of 6, your 6 sets of 6, or 5 sets of 7, that kind of shit. Leading into a nice muscle building block. So generally the accessory work will change to sets of 8 to sets of 10, shorter rest periods. And then leading into an actual peak. I generally don't like to do singles when I hit the off-season peak. I like to hit a good double or triple just to kind of see where that work is kind of accumulated to. So when you go into an actual peak for the in-season, you kind of have a nice gauge of where you're going to be sitting at.
So your off-season peaking is, I know people will do singles, for their.
Oh, totally. No. I'm not saying singles are wrong. I'm just saying I like the thought of hitting a heavy double or triple.
Right.
So that when you switch over to, let's say, the squat bar from an SSB, you can kind of gauge what your first starting block should look like. Yeah.
Right. because it's more of a, so your off-season peaking tends to more to be a gauge into the programming for your on-season.
Yeah, the actual strength portion.
Right. So you're peaking at that point to give you your numbers that you're going to work with from there.
Yep.
Now, on-season peaking is a very delicate process.
Yeah. Yes.
The very slightest things can really throw off a peak. I mean, it could be stress, sleep, food intake. If you're traveling to your meet that you're doing, all those things can affect your peak there.
Yeah.
But it's pretty obvious. Okay, you're peaking. Your on-season peaking comes down to you want to be the strongest and most well-rested.
Yep.
When you hit your meet day.
Yep.
Bodybuilding, you want to hit your driest, fullest point day of the show.
Yep.
And now to get there is a much more complicated process than that. We're not going to dive into that because that's what you pay people for, exactly. and it's not the same for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest thing. Is I can't.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to give you coaching advice on how to develop your peak because your peaking is going to be different than my client's peaking than my peaking.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, exactly.
Everyone else's. So
which is kind of the fun part of it.
Right. That's for as a coach, that should be the fun part.
Yep.
Is to get stuff, is to be able to give advice and to have people work on the things that they need to work on to help them get better. And not everyone is the same, and that's the great part about it. So if you are a client and you are receiving, kind of side note, if you are receiving the same information as every other client that person has, just kind of be wary. And if it doesn't work for you, then try and get some adjustments made. Just because every person is so different that the same routine is not going to work for every single person. And your main movements are probably all going to be the same. I mean, that's pretty standard. You're doing a this by this on squats, and then you're doing this, but then your accessory movements to help build on those main movements is where at least where I put a lot of my adjustments is what the accessory movements are to help with any deficiencies that could be taking place. But off-season peaking there's a lot more room to kind of play, right?
Well, because you're X amount of weeks or months out from the meet, so your margin for error can be, it's smaller because you have so much time to actually capitalize on something that needs to be capitalized on. So, like if let's say you have a shitty lift that day, but you're fucking 3 months out or 4 months out, and it's really not that big of a deal. Of course, when it's crunch time and you're a month out and you have a shitty lift or your peak didn't go as planned, then things kind of get a little sketchy. But the capitalizing on what you were saying before about the how the offseason can be different for everybody. Like if you're working with a bigger dude, your volume definitely needs to be adjusted because you can't expect to do 5 sets of 7 with a minute and a half break with if you want the recovery to be right, you need to make sure their cardiovascular is on point. So mainly with big guys, me especially, if you're not having them do some sort of cardio portions, like how Josh was having me do the pre-fatigue deads where I would hit front squats, sled drags, and farmer's carries before the deads, their recovery ultimately is going to be shittier because if their cardiovascular is bad, their recovery outside of the gym is going to be bad, which is going to translate to a poor response to volume inside of the gym. So when I first start off, it's kind of nice to do instead of doing 5 sets of 7 or 6 sets of 6 or whatever, if you span it out and do 11 sets of 3, 10 sets of 4, 15 sets of 2, and with shorter rest periods, you can kind of get them slowly acclimated to that 6x6 tempo, because it's kind of hard, and especially when it comes to actual form breakdown. I noticed that things start to get wonky after you hit let's say you're on the 4th set and you get to rep 3 or 4 and form starts breaking down. Your body's going to start to remember that crappy form because you're going to have more reps of that after the fatigue starts setting in. So if you start hitting that those clean sets of 3, but you're hitting just a minute rest in between, not only are you getting your cardiovascular in, you're also getting a chance to actually keep the form nice and proper.
Right.
And then obviously with your secondary movements, that's when you can start playing with a little bit of volume. So I have a secondary bench day always. So my main bench day will always be competitive style pause, always. And then the secondary day could be spotto, it could be close grip, it can be floor press, it can be incline, it can be overhead. Right now we're doing a pause off the chest way up, so kind of like a reverse spot. So we're coming down and pausing on the way up and moving. And those are always for sets of 4 or 5. So the off season is a nice way to, like I said, build that accumulation of building a certain weight so you can hit X amount of reps with X amount of weight when you get to the in season, and to capitalize on any muscle building efficiencies that you need. So if you're lacking, like with your glute development, you can do like the rope pull throughs, you can do rack pulls, you can do goblet squats. You know what I mean? Like all the things. That's why I like the off season. It's so much fun. You have so much room to play, and you can figure out where your client sucks and where they shine and capitalize on all of it, which is a hell of a lot of fun in my opinion.
Well, and you're not spending half of your workout on your main movement.
No, not at all. Like you get to actually, that's why like the muscle building phase is fun, because you can just hammer them with accessory work and they can have a lot more fun with it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So for anyone, so the curiosity, if there's a curiosity, or just so anyone knows. So if you're working with a coach, which if you're getting ready for a competition of any kind, you should be working with a coach. You're like, okay, well, you know, I want to do this meet, and then you're in this on season training. When you go off season and he gives you another program, don't be shocked and don't wonder why it's so different. Is because your workout needs to be different, because you're using different or building different things. And then, like we were saying, your peak's going to be different, and don't expect your off season peak numbers to be what your in season peak numbers were.
No.
You're not going to hit meet. You're most likely not going to hit meet numbers during your off season peaking, unless you're newer people are obviously going to have an easier time.
I mean, if it's their first 2 years of powerlifting, totally, you're going to make those strides.
You get those big growth periods. The rest of us, like if you can hit your meet number during an off season peak, then you had an amazing off season.
Well, and you're completely on track. Or that's why I like, you know, the doubles or triples, because if you can get them to hit a rep PR, to me, that speaks more volume, and that speaks a lot more towards an actual 1 rep max. So if I can hit like a heavy, like you hit your comp number, or let's say 5 kilos underneath that, and you hit that for a double or triple, to me, that's a hell of a lot more exciting, because you're setting them on track for an even bigger number, because that accumulation period is actually paid off. The volume is paid off.
Right.
You know, so like so that's why by the end of, you know, April, I'd like to hit a nasty double on the SSP, you know, because to me, that's indicative of a good straight bar squat. You know, if I can hit 650 for a double on the SSB, that means I am going to smoke show 700 on a straight bar. Because for me, like that's my hitter, you know, like an X amount of number here is going to correlate to an X amount of number here.
Right. And if you can, so if you're gauging it off of a previous meet number, if that's what your gauge is, if you're able to pull 2 at whatever your meet number was, then obviously you're farther along than you were at your meat.
Oh, and you're doing great. It almost means you should kind of just taper it back just a little bit.
Right. And so then like I said, like we were saying, if whatever your off-season numbers are, you know, you're not living or dying by those numbers. And it's hard not to be discouraged sometimes if the lift doesn't go your way. But that gives a coach the numbers to work off of.
Absolutely.
So I had a client that had a couple that had a bad movement during our last peak to be able to kind of gauge the numbers going forward.
Yeah.
And then we went into the working, you know, the following week, and the squats were just flying.
Yep.
So now I'll have to adjust the weight, because obviously there was a bad day.
Yep.
and so things didn't move as quickly. But it goes from, oh, I can't believe I only squatted that. That's such bullshit. Okay, relax.
It's not the end of the world, guys.
Like, yeah, remember really that. Yeah, it's like I just need a number to work with.
Yep.
Your coach just needs numbers to work with. Yep. And so that's what your off-season peak is for, is to give them something to work with to help you be that much better for your in-season peak.
Mm-hmm. So what you can use, a nice little tool, it's called the prilopins chart. So it's kind of it's a nice way to gauge how many reps at a certain percent is going to get you to a certain number here. So like I was talking about the SSB.
Right.
It's also a good way to gauge how you should hit your numbers in the beginning of the off season. So I am a firm believer that you should never go into the off season using the numbers that you hit at the meet, ever, because that's not going to create a sustainable environment for training. There's going to be a lot more room for error. There's going to be injuries, a lot more failed days. So anybody that's listening, that's trying to go into an off season right after you hit a meet, get off your fucking high horse about using the numbers that you hit at the meet that you did a month ago. Your body's not going to be able to do it right away. So do yourself a favor and shave 20 to 30 pounds off of each. Or if you want to hit like 93% of the numbers that you hit, you're going to give yourself a lot more room to rebuild, revamp, and there's going to be a lot more days where you're going to have success. And that's kind of what we're after in the off season. Allow yourself to have good training days.
Right. You humble yourself going into it, or else you're going to get humbled. Or else you're going to get humbled in a way that is really frustrating.
Oh yeah, or you're going to get hurt, or your recovery is going to be dog shit, or you're going to overtrain consistently, and like you at that point, folks, you're just backtracking. There's absolutely no point. You might as well just stop training that day,
right?
Because you're just going to ultimately it's just going to bite you in the ass.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what your coaches are for.
Yeah, I mean,
to help guide you through what your movements are.
Get guidance always. Like,
and at the end of the day, if you're having mental hangups, and if you have a coach, if you're having some sort of hang up, some sort of question, why is this happening? Why? Talk to them about it.
Yep.
Because if they're a good coach, which I'm hoping everyone listening here has a good coach, and if not, go find one. If they're a good coach, they can explain to you why they're having you do something, why you're failing where you're failing, help you work through whatever mental hangups that you're having at that time.
Yep.
And so that way you can move forward and your next lift will be successful.
Yep.
Because as much as you as a client, as you as the person doing the work wants those successful lifts, I can guarantee you your coach wants you to see you have those successful lifts too.
Oh, 100%.
Because I always like seeing when people hit those things. I mean, it makes me happy as well.
Yep.
Just as happy as when I do it myself.
Yep. I mean, yeah. I mean, you're allowing your lifters to have a good lift, hit a nice rep PR or a PR, and then it just really affirms you that what you are doing or what you're believing in does work.
Right.
Which is quite nice.
It is. It's nice to get confirmation one way as a coach, either directly from word of mouth or from seeing the result of what you're putting them through. And those are the best ways. I mean, obviously, when somebody tells you, man, this is great, I love what you're doing, I'm very happy with the progress I'm making, that means a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't always get that. Sometimes our satisfaction of what we're doing has to come from watching the clients, do their workouts and hit their numbers and the progress that they make. And then that's how we get our rocks off.
Yeah. Well, also don't be that dick and give your client stuff that you wouldn't do yourself.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Just whether it's in season, whether it's off season, doesn't matter. Don't be giving them things unless, like, you know what, like,
unless you can't do it. But
I'm trying to think of a situation where that could be applied. But even then, if someone like gives me something to do for the workouts, regardless if it sucks or not, I'm gonna fucking do it.
Yeah.
But
like, I'll give people an overhead press movement to do.
I mean, that's different though.
Yeah,
it's not that you don't want to. It's more hey, my fucking shoulder can't do this.
Yeah, I can't physically perform that action.
Yeah.
Or else, believe me, I would do it. But that's one of the first things I always tell people I work with, whether it's coaching for events or meets or whatever you want to call them, or whether it's just my average everyday client. is I'm never going to ask you to do something here that I'm not willing to do myself. Because I have people they're like, oh, are you going to have me do burpees? And I'm like, no, I'm never going to have you do burpees.
No.
You know why? Because I'm never going to do them. And so why am I going to have you do something that I'm not willing to do on my own?
No. Absolutely not.
But that could be a whole nother segment for another day, though. I mean, the deals with coaching could go, that could go on forever.
Yeah. I don't think we touched on this, but a good off season should definitely last between 10 to 12 weeks.
Right.
And a good season should definitely last 10 to 12 weeks. Allow yourself to have more time, space out your meets so that your margin of error can be a lot bigger. You can, smaller, excuse me. So you can actually have more time to recuperate from things. You don't have to rush your prep, and you can get through a nice 24 weeks before you hit your thing and look back and see that there was no errors, there was no rush, and you can enjoy the actual the prep without any rushing feeling.
Right. We've got. Wait, was that a political statement?
Oh, was it?
You said without a Russian feeling. So you want all the, and we have talked about this before. You want all the proper time to recover. So you need to let your body recover. Give yourself time to actually build, because if you go meet to meet, you're going to end up declining as you go along. And that's like we said earlier. If you're in the beginning stages, it's your first couple years of doing it. It allows you, because
you recover regardless.
Yeah, and your increases are a lot larger than people that have been doing it for a longer period of time. So you can increase 50, 60 pounds in between meets, whereas some of the rest of us were, 5 pounds, 10 pounds is what we're looking at. So just make sure you give yourself those timings that you need in between your peaking periods and your off season, going into your actual training for the meet.
The only exception I can think of is if you're in season again and you need to bump up your volume because you're burning out faster, then the accessory work should definitely be picked up to, sets of 12 to 15, 10 to 12, that kind of thing. Trying to think of any other miscellaneous. In season, definitely look into a massage therapist or a chiropractor. Make sure you're staying on top of your recovery. When I was getting ready for the meet in June, I was seeing Shayla every single week, twice a week when I was starting to feel like shit. So do yourself a favor, invest into yourself, make sure your eating is good, your sleeping is good, try to maintain your stress levels, and get yourself into a chiropractor or a massage therapist's office, or do both. Allow yourself to get everything worked out and then go get an adjustment after. Invest into yourself. Allow yourself to have a nice recovery period after your lift is done.
Right, because what's the point of putting all the effort in the gym to train to lift heavy weights if you're not doing everything you can outside of the gym to make sure that you're successful as well?
If I had a fucking dollar, man, you'd be so surprised. That is everyone's coming. The lifting is the easy part. It's the bread and butter. It's
nutrition and recovery outside the gym and that's where definitely everything is lacking.
Or just trying to get people to sleep at a decent hour. Good Lord.
It's dude, I wish I could choose when I went. I go to bed basically when I have time to.
Same. I mean, like I said last night, my nights at work run late, but if you need to, try to squeeze an hour nap into the day, because that's going to make a huge difference.
Oh yeah, precisely. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the world's favorite game show, White Lights, Red Lights, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, if you could please describe for the studio audience what the rules are. What White Lights, Red Lights does mean.
White lights, red lights. Trying to think of a nice fancy way to explain this. I feel like I've kind of hit it right. I feel like I've hit all the fancy explanations.
Maybe just like a straightforward, just go at it.
Your coach is rubbing your shoulders. He's whispering in your ear, "You got this." He just gave you a fat whiff of ammonia. You just grunted like an animal. You're walking onto the platform. It's the last pull of the day. You just squatted. You just benched. You got 6 crazy reps done. You passed all 3. You passed all 6 of them. This last pull is your make or break. You get up to the bar. You get your final brace in. You push up against that belt. You reach down for the bar. You stand up. It's a grinder. You're moving. You're bleeding out of your nose. You're popping blood vessels in your eye. You lock that bitch out. The judge gives you the down command. You hold that thing for just another 5 seconds because you're a man. You come down with it. You give yourself a nice battle cry, and the 3 judges give you 3 white lights. You, sir, end of the day with a passing deadlift. Let's say it was a little bit slower. You helicoptered just a little bit on the way up, and one judge was like, and they give you 2 white lights. My friend, that is still a passing score. But let's say you go for that last pull. Unfortunately, it doesn't come off the ground, or you hitch it a little bit, or you ride the quads, or it's just a little bit sloppy, or you drop it. Unfortunately, 2 red lights or 3 red lights is a failing score. But you know what? You gave it your all, and that's what I care about.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. So this week's episode of White Lights, Red Lights, we are doing another versus.
Oh. Lay it on me.
This is a good one. This is duos.
Oh.
Versus on duos. Okay, so first we have Wayne versus Garth.
Wayne versus Garth. Oh, why you gotta do that? They both are so, like, obviously Wayne is the more outspoken. The show is about him, but those little one-liners that Garth has almost makes me pee harder than Wayne. So you know what? I'm gonna give it to my boy Garth.
All right.
3 white lights for Garth. That scene where he's in the diner doing the foxy lady. Oh, it kills me every time. Or they're mid conversation and he just goes swing like you can't beat that. Garth all the way.
All right, that's a good choice. I like that one.
3 white lights for Garth.
The sidekick's got to prevail every once in a while.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, this one. Bert versus Ernie.
Bert versus Ernie. Bert on Ernie. Dude, I don't even fucking know. I can't even tell you the last time I watched Sesame Street. I feel like Bert's more the realist because he's the crusty guy in the relationship.
Right.
So I think I'll have to give it to Bert.
Ernie's living in his gay fantasy world.
I mean, yeah, but you know, Bert sees things from a more realist perspective. Like he has a grouchy face the entire time, and I feel like that's a little more relatable. So three white are gay puppets. I'll give it 3 lights for Bert.
All right, Bert wins that battle.
Bert.
Okay, there we go. Tom versus Jerry.
Like, Jerry just wants to live his life, you know, and Tom has to be such a cynical dick about it. Like, I love the duo of the dog and Jerry. I feel like that's always a nice combo. You know what? I'm gonna give it to Jerry. Tom is just kind of a dick. I'll give it to Jerry, even though Jerry does push his buttons a lot.
Right. He does ask for it sometimes.
I'll give it to Jerry. He's creative with how he fucks with Tom, so I'll give it to Jerry.
All right, and then the last and final one is going to be Cheech versus Chong.
Oh man, Chong is a little too on the short bus end for me, so I'll give it to Cheech.
Because he can still develop a plan
or develop a sentence. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, I'll give it to Cheech.
All right. So Cheech, Jerry, Bert, and Garth are our winners in our battle today.
Yeah.
Congratulations, fellas.
Right now. Oh yeah. Congrats.
No, this is like I started thinking about it, and I'm like, oh, who would I go with? And then as soon as I like opened it up, I was like, holy crap, this is like endless.
Ooh,
So
yeah.
like,
I was thinking, what's the stoner movie with Dave Chappelle?
Oh, Half Baked.
Yeah. Okay. So Dave Chappelle from Half Baked, or Redman from How High?
Oh shit, that is a good one. Oh my gosh, that's like
it's a good one, right?
That is a good one. Because it's like, oh, you'd want to go with Dave Chappelle because that's a classic, but I mean, Redman's character and How High is just so damn funny. When he's rowing that boat on land.
Stroke, smoke, stroke, smoke. That scene with Method Man where he's waking him up to Rammstein in the bed with the blunt.
Oh yeah,
every fucking time without falter. Like I mean, I'll give it to How High at the end of the day, but like, I mean, Half Baked is great, but
Half Baked gets there because it's just kind of it's a classic.
It is. It's
but he does get detoured away from the weed by some chick, which is kind of a negative.
Yeah, it's not really the ending you want.
And still one of my favorite lines is from How High when the guy's like, he's like, I don't get it. And he's like, what don't you get? Pussy and respect.
Yeah.
Still
one such a good movie.
So yeah, I think I'd have to go with Redman. He's just a funny ass dude. And he doesn't make his money being funny.
No, he's just a funny ass dude.
But yeah, he's just
and a great rapper. Love it.
Great rapper. Another. So that I've been watching The Last OG.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that?
The one with Tracy Morgan?
Tracy Morgan.
Yeah.
Tracy Morgan. It's Tracy Jordan on the TV on
The Rock.
The
30 Rock.
So 30 Rock. So Tracy Morgan, it is an amazing show.
Is it good? Okay. I need some.
It is really good. So like it's got like, good storylines to it, I think. But Tracy Morgan has got to be one of the most underrated, funny people that's out there.
Mm-hmm.
He has his one-liners, his comparisons of things are just fucking phenomenal. So obviously the premise is he served 15 years for selling crack and now he's out. And like Brooklyn's now all changed. It's all gentrified and it's not the Brooklyn that he grew up in.
Yeah.
And so he's adjusting to this new Brooklyn. And so he's living in this halfway house with all these other dudes. A lot of good characters in there. The halfway house is run by Cedric the Entertainer is the guy who runs the halfway house. So, but yeah, he's in this restaurant and one of the guys from the halfway house comes over and is talking to him. He's like, yeah, I got my job here. He's like, just don't tell anybody that I'm an ex-con. He's like, I had to lie on my application. And he's sitting there talking to Tracy Morgan. This guy behind's like, he's like, hey, can I get a tossed salad? And the guy turns around. He's like, we don't do that here, man. Yeah. I was just cracking. I was like, oh shit, that was hilarious. Anyway, yeah, Tracy Morgan is one funny ass dude. Funny ass show. Method Man is in the show. I think starting in the second season.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think, there's like so many people, like cameos of just like awesome people, funny ass people. So anyway, check that shit out. All right, everyone. We appreciate you stopping by. We appreciate you downloading. We appreciate you watching live. We appreciate everything you do for us as we try and do for you in return. We'll see you all next week as we come through. I'm assuming we'll do another Saturday next week. That is going to be our goal, since that's what we got voted in by 2 people to do. So we're going to try and keep that up as much as we possibly can due to changes in scheduling. Things happen.
Yep.
So again, make sure you go to liftingugly.com. Check out all the gear that we got there. I'm going to pop these up real quick. We do have the All Natty Light shirt that will be live here in the next hour. And then we also have the Monumental Powerlifting on the back big die, strong die, and a ball shirt that is going to be available as well. If you are listening to this podcast, even if it's later down the road, get a hold of me. I will get you a code for said shirts that, let's say it will get you 15% off. Let's do 15% off for those that are listening that want to get their hands on those shirts.
Get their hands ugly.
That's right. That's because that's how much we appreciate y'all fools out there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us for episode 18 of the Lifting Ugly podcast. We will see you next week. We're out.
Peace.
Oh, no. Slide that belly to the I pay my dues, refuse to lose, so fuck the blues. Ain't your bad news, you can trip if you choose. While I sip booze on a 7-day cruise in Louis Vuitton shoes with floozies by the dudes. The good life, talking about the good life. Live it up for a little while, then go to the hood to get a good wife and settle down. But for now, I'm studying down, refuse to allow myself to live foul like when I was sniffing pals. Still got trials and tribulations. Refinement from cultivation takes patience, I'm waiting. Paper chasing to get a place like Peyton. Politics and interfacing, business relations. Built the empire from the underground, then retire. Who said I was on crack? You's a motherfucking liar. See me in the trench coat but missed the joke, so fuck the hoax. My mission is this, get in position to assist my folks. Get in position to assist my mother, my mother, and my auntie, and my uncle, my folks.